A diving instructor was training two students in a shallow sea area. Suddenly, they discovered a cave entrance at the bottom of the ocean. On a whim, the instructor decided to lead the students inside. However, none of them had any cave diving experience. Worse yet, their air tanks were already half empty, and they weren't carrying any guideline reels. So, what would be the fate of these three people? Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Cave Diving Stories. The American Bass Spring Cave Incident. Bass Spring is located off the west coast of Florida, USA. From a map, it appears to be land, but upon closer inspection, you can see that this area is actually submerged underwater, like a shallow lake dotted with only a few small islands. Due to its large area and shallow depth, many cave diving clubs conduct training here. Additionally, cave diving enthusiasts enjoy exploring this area, because beneath the surface lies a network of underwater caves, including the over 80-meter deep Bass Spring Cave we're discussing today. From a top-down view, the cave appears straightforward, but a cross-sectional view reveals complexity. The left side is simpler with few branches, while the latter half is far more complicated. The deepest point in Bass Spring Cave reaches 91 meters, making it unsuitable for divers with only open-water diving experience. Even novice cave divers should avoid it, as a beginner cave diver died here in 2005. In July 2006, a snorkeling enthusiast named Jason Boyd entered out of curiosity, tragically losing his life after just 2 minutes. Clearly, Bass Spring Cave isn't as simple as it appears. The primary hazard is the large amount of sediment within the cave. When divers move inside, they easily disturb these deposits, drastically reducing underwater visibility. Without a visible guideline, or worse, without any guideline, getting lost becomes highly probable. Entering the cave without proper training is extremely dangerous, yet some people refuse to heed warnings. On the afternoon of September 30th, 2007, an instructor took 2 trainees to Bass Spring for a training dive. The trio included 40-year-old instructor James Francis Cummings, 37-year-old Harold Arnold, and 26-year-old local Army recruiter Donald Albritton. The students were aiming to obtain their advanced open water certifications. James, the instructor, was previously a lawyer and father of 5 who was passionate about diving, especially cave diving. Ironically, he had neither substantial cave diving experience nor any cave diving certification. James, ambitious or perhaps overly boastful, had once claimed he intended to break the 318-meter cave diving depth record set by Nuno Gomes, a famous South African diving legend featured in our previous episode. James comparing himself to Gomes was akin to someone who hadn't yet learned to walk dreaming of racing. Whether for publicity or marketing purposes, James's grandiose claims never materialized. He eventually lost his job at a law firm for unknown reasons. Subsequently, he opened a dive shop near Bass Spring, focusing primarily on open water dive training and equipment sales. Due to his charisma and marketing skills, his business was relatively successful. Originally, the training dive was planned for just 2 hours, so they didn't bring much air. After an hour underwater, James unexpectedly led the students to the entrance of Bass Spring Cave. Despite lacking proper certification, James had explored the cave the previous month, deeming it easy enough for novices. Surprisingly, despite their air tanks being half empty, which, according to the rule of thirds, meant they should have returned, they entered anyway. They had no guideline reels, cave diving computers, backup lighting, or double tanks, breaking every cave diving safety rule imaginable. Unfortunately, James appeared so confident that his students eventually agreed to follow him out of curiosity. Disaster commenced from that moment. The cave's entrance was narrow and dark. As they descended further, the students became increasingly nervous due to darkness and intense water pressure, an environment completely new to them. Trusting the instructor's guidance, they continued forward. Soon, they reached the first restriction, a narrow passage allowing only 1 diver at a time. James went through first, followed by his students. After passing through, visibility worsened dramatically as James stirred up silt, and without any guideline, the students could barely see. They followed James's light blindly, unaware of their location or destination. Suddenly, James stopped and motioned for the students to remain stationary before swimming deeper alone. Shocked and confused, the students watched helplessly as James's light vanished into the darkness. Terrified and inexperienced, they waited there for 25 minutes until the remaining air was critically low. Deciding they couldn't wait any longer, they retraced their path, blind and without a guideline. Miraculously, there were no forks in this section, and they managed to reach the cave entrance safely. Without decompressing, they ascended immediately, experiencing pain from decompression sickness but surviving due to the shallow depth. When James failed to appear, they notified authorities. Due to the need to assemble professional cave divers, the police initially searched only the entrances without success. Around 9 a.m. the next day, professional cave divers quickly located James's body at about 30 meters depth in a narrow restriction area. His tank was empty, and the regulator had fallen from his mouth, indicating he drowned after running out of air. He was lodged in a narrow passage, though it was unclear whether he became stuck before or after death. Investigations concluded that James likely became lost, ran out of air, and drowned. His reasons for abandoning the students remain unknown. Perhaps panic compromised his judgment, or he intended to explore ahead. Regardless, 4 critical errors caused the tragedy: disregarding cave diving protocols, no guideline, serious mismanagement of air supply, violating the rule of thirds, lacking proper equipment, and recklessly exploring alone. James endangered himself and abandoned inexperienced students in peril. Fortunately, their return route lacked branches. Otherwise, all 3 might have perished. This accident highlights the importance of safety principles in diving, emphasizing careful dive planning, strict adherence to rules, proper equipment, and awareness of personal limits. Diving beyond your training or equipment is reckless. Not having an accident once doesn't imply safety, only luck. That's all for this episode. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.